Yo, my Star Citizens and new gamers, welcome back to another episode of Star Citizen with me, Menix. And in today's episode, I'm going to be doing a quick talk based on a video I'm currently creating about is it safe to cargo run in Pyro. And this is just a quick talk about some of the stuff that I found out, and it's relevant to what I'm talking about. The footage in the background will be relevant to what I'm talking about and what I found and why I'm really liking the whole cargo running in Pyro and why I think it's better than Stanton currently. Based on my current knowledge. And so we hope you like this video, guys. I know it's currently Invictus Week, and I don't really do a lot of videos on stuff like Invictus Week and looking at the ships and stuff like that. I don't feel like I bring too much value with that when there's really good content creators out there doing a lot of that stuff anyway. And so I would rather focus on doing things like this where I'm talking about the cargo running and stuff like that and stuff that I'm finding out with that. I will go down and have a look at some of the ships, but I probably won't make any content on that. So that's just that, guys. While we are talking about Invictus Week, if you are new to Star Citizen, you can have a free fly this week. Just download the game and you can start flying the ships. If you do create a new account, if you use the code at the top, my referral code, if you do end up buying the game, you'll get 5,000 credits, and currently, because it's Invictus Week, you will get a Merlin for free, and you'll also gift me a Merlin as well. I think it's the Merlin or the other one, I can't remember, but it's the same type of ship. And yeah, so you'll gift that one for free for me as well. I'm only, I think, about 5 referrals away from getting the next step on the ladder before they end up taking that ladder away, and I can no longer get those free bonuses. So yeah, guys, if you want to use that code, I'm about 5 away from doing that. So let's get into this video, guys. So what I was doing is I was in Pyro, and I landed at this place. I was doing like a box mission where I was delivering boxes, and just as you saw there, it came up that I was trespassing for no reason. So I think the game must have been delayed, and then I seen this guy here, so I thought I'll go the other way. And then as I started leaving, I started getting shot at by the base, which was weird. I couldn't understand why. So I needed to sort of work out why it let me land to deliver the boxes, and then all of a sudden I was trespassing. Even I don't know if it was because I could just go there because of the boxes or not. Maybe that was what it was. But I wanted to do some sort of little research on it and why I was not allowed to be in that place, because normally once you deliver your boxes it gives you 15 minutes, but that didn't even give me any warning, it just come up, and so I had to get rid of the boxes quick and go. And so I was doing the video on cargo, like I said, and I was at this place where I delivered the next set of boxes, and then I was going to go and buy some cargo. So I was looking at the different things here, like Neon. It was selling Neon, they were selling Atlasum. So I went into the UEX Trader website to have a look around. And normally what I do when I'm cargo running in Stanton, or what I used to do, is I'd look at EX, I'd look at the place I'm buying the cargo, or the best place to buy the cargo. Then I would look at the best place to sell the cargo. Now what I generally do in Pyro is I will look at places in Pyro so I don't have to do the jump. And so I might not be able to get the best price, but I'll get the best price from the place that I'm in, or the area that I'm in, like so for Pyro, for example. But there's actually more stuff now that I need to look at, which I found out because of this gameplay that I was doing. So you see there, I'm at Rustville, and I'm looking at the different commodities. So I'm looking at Atlasum here, and I'm looking at Bueno Ravine, and I'm putting in how much I need. So I'm going to be at 10, and I'm saying this is how much I'll get. And then I'm looking at SC Trade Tools to see if they'll take that much of the cargo of Neon. So I'm looking at the two different things, the Neon and the Atlasum, and looking at what places take how much, and you know, if I buy it all, are they going to be able to am I going to be able to sell it all when I get to the places? So I was looking at Endgame and Starlight Services, different places, and that is my normal method. I will look at the best place to sell and the best place to buy. So then I was looking at Titanium, and I was looking at Bueno Ravine again, and I was like, okay, so it looks like I'm going to get Titanium and go to Bueno Ravine. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So that's what I started doing. Now, this is me just buying the stuff, buying the commodities and buying. So I bought the Atlasum, I bought the Neon. That's what I ended up doing, the Atlasum and the Neon. And then I run out of money, and I'm in a place that's really hot. I didn't really realise it in the end, but you see the thing going down. I ended up dying here because my energy went, so that's why you see the little Pisces there. So I was actually worried about pirates, but it turns out actually I needed to be worried about the heat. Anyway, so back onto the mission. So I'm heading over to the base here, and I can't remember what it is, but you can see here it come up that I'm trespassing civilizations for prosperity for Pyro, and I didn't understand why. So then obviously I'm starting getting shot at. I couldn't understand why am I getting shot at, you know, coming into this base. I've never had these issues before when we've been over at Stanton. When we first started playing Pyro, I didn't have the issues. So I'm trying to get, you know, the hell out of Dodge here. Couldn't understand why, trying to figure it out in my head. And then we leave the property, but you see that I've lost one of my engines, it's gone. Totally busted me up, they did. And so I was like, well, that's not really good, because the best place to sell that cargo and to get the best price was that place where I was. I don't know if it was Gweno Ravine that I was at, but that was the best place I could have sold that cargo. And now I'm thinking, well, can I only really sell it at space stations? Why are they attacking me? I've got to figure this out. So this is what I ended up working out. I got to Starlight Services here, got myself in, and unloaded the cargo and dropped it down, which I'm going to do now. And then I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to go and sell this cargo. So just dropping that cargo down, and then I go upstairs to sell it and sort of make a little discovery on things. Well, I say I make a little discovery. I discovered something and thought there was a different fix for it. So I sold the cargo, and then I seen that there was this cobalt here. So I decided I'm going to buy this cobalt, and then I'm looking at different places to sell it, which will come up now. I'm going to start looking at different places to sell it. And as we see here, I start realizing my rep for Citizens of Prosperity is hostile, whereas my Headhunters one is, I think I'm in 3 ranks up on that one. That happened because when the missions came up to where you could mine and buy some stuff, for the contracts, for the hauling contracts, I did some stuff with Dark, and they must have been doing it for the Headhunters, the missions, and that obviously pushed up my ranking for the Headhunters rather than the Prosperity ones, and so it gave me the hostile one for the Prosperity. So at this point, I'm looking, well, I need to get my Citizens of Prosperity back off hostile, and I was trying to figure out, well, is there any missions I can do here that will do that? And in the end, I thought, well, what's the best thing to do with this? If I'm hostile in the Citizens of Prosperity, but not hostile in the Headhunters, that means I've either got to neutralise my hostility with the other one, but then am I going to get shot at Headhunters? Am I going to get shot at every other place? By having a affiliation with one or the other, I'm able to think about, well, actually, I could just go to Headhunter places because that's where my affiliation is. And that means when I go to the Headhunter places, I'm not going to get shot at and I'm going to get some protection. But it actually runs deeper than that. And you can see here I'm an applicant on the Headhunters one. But it actually runs deeper than that. When you start thinking about it, you think, well, there's 2 factions there. Now, I'm not too sure fully if there's 3 factions or more. But even if there's just 2 factions, what we can look at here is when I arrive at places to sell gear, I've got to start thinking more about where I'm going to go to buy and sell. But what I'm thinking here is if there's 2 factions, then that means anybody that is in part of the Prosperity for Citizens for Prosperity, whatever it's called, cannot come to the Headhunter places because they're going to get shot. And vice versa. So that means 50% of the cargo traders are not going to be able to get to the cargo you're getting because you're in the Headhunters and they're in the Prosperity. So that means it's going to be better for cargo and the commodities not being oversold because you've already removed 50% of your pool, allowing you to have more cargo for the Headhunter section, the Headhunter people, the people that are affiliated to Headhunters. That also comes with piracy and grifters and all that stuff, griefers. It means they're not going to be able to get into the areas you're in because as soon as they start coming in, they're going to get shot at. So they'd have to come in a different way. And there is patrols running around that will shoot at you as well. So this is really, really good. I don't think this is in Stanton yet. But I know, obviously, I've started working this out here. That means Now, because I'm part of Headhunters, I don't need to neutralise my citizens' prosperity. I can just go to the Headhunter places. Now, there is an issue with that in I'm not going to get the best prices all the time, but as you see here, I'm at this place, there's some audio visual equipment. You're actually getting some really good stuff as well. You might not be able to sell it at the best places, but at least you can go to these other places and sell it in safety. Or you could then head over to Stanton and sell it in Stanton instead, if that's going to be the best place to sell it. There's also that choice of doing that. So what's happened is by having these factions, it means now there's other things to look at. As you can see here, I'm looking at this here, and that place that I'm looking at there is a Citizens of Prosperity. I can't sell it there, even though that's the best place to sell this stuff. So basically what I have to do is look at someone. So that was Bueno Ravine, so I can't go there. So I'm going to look at Ashland here, and that's a Headhunter, so I can go there. And then I'm going to look over here at the Golden Riviera, which is also Headhunters. So I could look at these two places, and then I could then look at the different, how far they are. So that's 118 away, whereas the Golden Riviera is 51 away. So that's the one I'm going to choose. And so that's how I'm going to start cargo running. Now I'm looking at, is it in my faction? Because it has to be my faction. And then how far is it away with all the factions that are in that list? And as you see here now, green at the top, the Headhunter controlled area. I'm safe to come into this area. I'm not going to get shot at. I can do it in my own leisure. Unless there's another Headhunter that comes in and starts griefing me or pirating me, you've already removed 50% of the pool, because they're not going to be able to get in if they're Citizens of Prosperity. I'm not too sure if they're going to get in if they don't have any affiliation whatsoever. Should be able to get in, but there'll probably still be some hostilities towards them on the ground. Maybe not the guns, but the ground itself, the ground people might have some hostility towards them. And as you see here, I can just come in, I'm looking around, I'm a bit cautious, but looking around, and then you'll see again. So we've got in here ETAM, Altrusia Toxin, Bioplastic, and then some of this Ocean Hides here, even though there's got none in. I think it's just because that's just ready for happening at some point, or maybe missions or something that it's there for. And so I'm able to go and buy some really good stuff that's now not available to 50% of the cargo runners if they've got an affiliation with the other things. Now, like I said, if that's with two factions, I don't know if there's three or more factions. You guys can tell me in the comments if there's more factions. But if there is a third faction, then you're splitting it again. You're splitting it into 2/3 of the people can't come and get the cargo you're getting. And vice versa, then you're still locked out at 2/3 of places where you can't get cargo. But I'm happy working in that smaller pool of, I can go into Headhunter places and get some really good cargo. Then either I can go over to either the space stations, because it doesn't matter who runs the space stations, you'll still be able to sell them at the space stations if you get good prices there. It just means that these planet places, we're able to get cargo and be safe and have protection from the bases. Now, I'm loving the idea of that. I love the idea of being able to have your faction base, and then basically I feel like when I'm moving my cargo around there, I'm protected from people coming in and just trying to do anything, as well as like shortening or making the pool of people that can come into that area smaller. And so then it doesn't feel like it's oversaturated with people coming getting all the same stuff. And so these are things that you're going to have to think about as well. If you've got a cargo run that you like to do, you're going to have to look at the best places that are selling and buying, and look at your faction and maybe align your faction with that, depending on your cargo and your cargo run in the places you want to go. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Just as you can see here, again, I'm now having to look at these different places. I can go to Devlin, Scrap and Yard, and I think so you got Headhunters and then Undefined for the other one. So this doesn't seem like it's going on in Stanton. So Stanton, this could end up being that it's safer to actually trade in Pyro under a faction than it is to trade in Stanton with no factions. And so, yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys, on this. I've only just worked this out, but I've not really had time when my computer's been away. But you can see now I'm having to start thinking about these now. I'm going, right, where's the best places? And then I have to go back to the game itself, and I have to look then, is that faction this? Is that faction that? And then how far each of those away, and then I know what then is the best thing to buy. So like, say if I was buying the ETAM, is it actually better to buy the bioplastic, or is it better to buy the Altrusia Toxin, because you're actually going to earn more from the Altrusia Toxin because you can take it to an Headhunter's place that's got better rates than the place where you've got ETAM, where there's going to be less rates. There could be less rates at the place that's the Headhunters, and the best rates are all in the Citizens for Prosperity. So there's a lot more to look at, and I'm going to look more into some of this stuff now that I've figured it out. But it does feel like actually now it's become safer by being part of a faction. I feel safer. It did feel like someone there was shot at me as well, or a missile went off. But it feels like it's safer now to go into these places. Again, you see here, head-on controlled area. I feel safer that I'm coming into these places. I'm not going to get shot at. The people or the NPCs around are not going to shoot at me. And I feel like I can actually go and trade in peace in these places. So yes, that's going to be this video, guys. We hope you liked it, and I'm going to let out the full video soon of this run that I did. I was on it for 5 hours. I absolutely loved it. Loved being on and playing for 5 hours. As you see here, guy doesn't even bother me. Happy that I'm there because I'm one of him. I'm one of him and one of his guys. And yeah, so love to hear your thoughts, guys, and what you think about this. And would you consider going trading in Pyro now that you understand this and align with the faction? Yeah, so we hope you like it, guys, and we'll see you guys out in the verse.